Hey everyone, Glenn Sanford here, and founder of EXP Realty. And the this podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about relationships. I've got Dan Teston. Dan and his wife run an ICON team um, out of Orlando, Florida. And Dan, hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having us on, Glenn. I appreciate it. Tanin wasn't able to join me this time, but she's not too far away. I've
Okay.
got all her notes to help me.
Okay. Awesome. Um, the so how did you what's your background? How did you get into real estate? And then it sounds like maybe you started real estate first, Tannin later. You guys got married, formed a team. But what's that journey like?
It was a pretty good one. You hit most of the key points there. But so I owned a site development company here in Central Florida, and I use this a lot within real estate because everybody's always asking about the bubble. Like there's a bubble coming, but in site development, we were the first to see it happening. We were the first when they said we're not building anymore, and this was like 2007. We're like, well, what do you mean not building anymore? Anyways, ultimately had to start making some drastic moves within that company. I owned the company. I had millions of dollars in equipment. I sold most of it off, and I went and got my real estate license at that time because that was the economic downturn in '08. Nobody was hiring, so I got my real estate license. I always wanted to do it, and it just was an easy fit for me. My wife, it's funny, she came from title, 17 years in the title business. She said that I'll never marry a realtor. And eventually I became a realtor, and we've been married now. We just hit 17 years just a few days ago. And on the 16th there, I guess just a few days. But yeah, that's how it all started. So it's been 16 years now into the business in real estate. It's been great. It's been a great journey so far. My wife joined up with me 7 years ago. She was in title, was a branch manager for a local company here who just got bought out by First American, a large company in the nation. And she joined me, and we've never looked back since.
Well, awesome. So now, what is your like? How do you do your business? What makes your business unique? And what's been what's you've been now a multiple, I think, four icon
Yep,
awards at EXP,
four, and we're
and
almost our fifth.
awesome. And so obviously you know a little bit about business building. Obviously, you've been successful in business in the past and other businesses. But what is it that has kind of driven your business? What's made you successful?
I think our single thing, it's a great business to be in. I love dealing with people. I've often told many that they come and ask me. I'm a mentor as well with EXP, and I always share that, like, I love helping people. If I wasn't real estate, I think I would have been in law enforcement maybe, or firefighter, something to that degree, because I do enjoy helping people. So that's probably where it all kind of starts and comes from. I think, like most of us can say that if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life kind of mentality. And that's a lot what it is that I feel like that is that I do. I enjoy what I do. Not all the deals are perfect or seamless or flawless, we'll call it, but I do enjoy it a lot. I love the process, the faces, the happiness that people get out of when you get to sell them their home or buy a home. And it's really it's made the business kind of, I wouldn't say easy for us, but I think when you see it from that light, that helping light, it definitely makes it an easy for us to do. Um,
So
but
now it sounds like, and I'm kind of asking a question that I think I know the answer to, but would you consider yourself a salesperson?
No, I don't. I think I'm more of a relationship person. I think I don't. I mean, yes, we get paid at the end of the day for what it is that we do, but I enjoy the relationship part. I don't think there's anybody that I've had a closing with anytime in the last decade since social media was a thing that I'm not friends with on a social level. That we hang out, talk on a regular. We do a lot of engagements with our past clients. We invite them to our house. We've had dinner parties. We've had customer or client appreciation, I guess you'd call it, with live music and stuff here at my house. We bring everybody in, and we always have a fantastic time as well. So we do. They allow us to come into their lives, and we like to bring them back into ours just the same way.
Okay, awesome. And so very much relationship, service oriented, and and I use the term, sales gets a bad rap, obviously, as a word, because most people, they sell because that's what they're trying to do to quote unquote make money rather than serve the client, which it sounds like you serve the client, and as a result, you make sales.
Very true. Yeah, I think, but I would say that there's a point when I started, I was probably on a little more on the salesy side, and the business
I
struggled then.
was.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I mean, I did it. I was good. I've always been good at sales. We'll say that my previous company, I sold the company, and that's what I did every day. I had to go and sell it. But once you kind of get past that, I think that's where we really, going back to your first question, on the icon and so forth. That's really what it changed. That we looked at it differently with a different set of eyes, and then at that point, we've never looked back in our business as it basically has quadrupled in the last 4 years since we've been at EXP.
So in your opinion, I mean, this has obviously been in the business a few years, but do you consider the business to be um, an easy business to be in, a emotional business to be in, a challenging business to be in? How would you characterize real estate today?
I think it's a little bit of all those, to be honest with you. You know, I, it gets easy. The process gets easier. You get more fluid with it, much like a script or anything else that you might use, but you get better at that portion of it. But I don't know if it's easy. It's like it's constantly changing. It's always a new tech piece that comes in, or inflation gone to here, and then prices come. It's always something different that you have to adapt to. But I think the process, which is the relationship, once again, which will, I hate to keep saying that same word over, but it's very true. Those relationships that we've had, up market, down market, those clients keep coming back to us. We have a very high retention rate. It's very rare. I don't think it's only happened just a few times. I think I can count on one hand where a client might have gone and purchased or sold without using us or talking with us first, throughout 16 years of being in the business. So it's been definitely a relationship. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that up market, down market, or however it's moving in general, it's gotten easier in the fact that we just kind of keep those relationships as our focal point.
Now, how do you, I mean, obviously you mentioned doing community-based stuff, having, some functions at your own home, obviously that type of thing. Uh, do you use a CRM? How do you manage all of these relationships to sort of?
We do. We started like an old school style, like Excel spreadsheets. My wife is very organized. Come from the title business. I'm a little bit more fly by the seat of my pants kind of style. I have that. A lot of it's in my brain, but if it's hard to put that out sometimes. So we do a CRM. We use KV Core pretty well at this point in time. There's always some new features that have been added to it that makes it even easier to kind of track and log these things. Even just a few days ago, I was with one of our newer agents in part of our group, and we were going to do some cold calling right on not cold calling. We kind of, these people that have come through Property Boost and things that we're doing with our KV Core systems, and ultimately calling them, and it's kind of a warm lead. You reached out to me on one of my listings recently, and showing them how, and you could see all the notes, all the information in there. It's definitely has changed. It's been a game changer for us as far as business wise, keeping track of that information.
Now, how many if you think about a typical day, do you have a certain number of touches that you're looking to make on a given day? How do you think about sort of your staying in contact between sort of events?
I don't know if it's we live by like the 33 touches, I think is what we often go by, the 33 touches in a year. We stand a lot with that, and then but there's little circles. We live in a very large community, 1,268 homes in our community. So that one is kind of like its own entity of a sphere that we work. And then we've got all the rest of Central Florida that we kind of service and cater to as well. So within the two, uh, the touching points are a little different, between social media or personal touches, give back. We do lots of little things. My Tanin's great. She does a fantastic, what is it? not a nosy neighbor. We call it. We have a little catchy little name we give it to. We're neighbors in the community on social media. Maybe somebody's car broke down and somebody chips in. Hey, I'll come by and give you a jump. Overall, we take those and we buy what's called a Publix gift card. It's like a $10 gift card. Once again, we don't spend any money for leads, but what we'll do is we'll send them a little note and say, hey, thanks for being a great neighbor. Here's a little $10 Publix gift card. Those small things. And then what do? They go on Facebook and they'll put a little post out in the community. Thanks, Dan and Tanin for the $10 gift card. That was so nice. One of the great things, and I use this a lot, and I've shared this story. Our last political, I guess it was 2 years ago when Trump was first coming in, everybody was being bombarded with all the political mail in your mailbox, and he's like, all I ever get in my mailbox is political junk. One neighbor, and it was a funny comment on the community page about the political mail. We sent a letter in with the Publix gift card. We said, we just didn't want you to have only political mail. Here's a $10 gift card. And then, of course, that neighbor went on to put a great post in the community, and it turned into 1.2 million in transactions from one post. So $10 Publix gift card turned into a great relationship with some clients. So
Awesome. So do you do the public gift card? Is that a fairly regular thing that you guys do,
it
or
is.
is that something you?
Yeah. We buy them some 10, 20 at a time, and we keep them, and we use them as well. It's Publix is our grocery store. It's a very common grocery store
Right.
down in the South, and so we everybody goes there. Everybody shops for something at Publix. You need something. They've even got a liquor store now. So if you don't want groceries, you can help yourself to something else. But we do them for lots of little things, anniversary style stuff as well, birthdays, things. Maybe they just had a baby, kind of a thing, just married, that type of thing as well. So we touch lots of, anytime we see those, we call them, those clues, you see those clues being laid out there, jump on them, take them and put them to use, see what you can get out of it. And that's usually what it is. If they're having a baby, they might have to upsize their home. So you want to make sure you give them that card. If you're thinking about need a little more space for that room for that new baby, maybe you need to upgrade your home. So it's for $10, it's an easy way to stay in front.
Awesome. Awesome. And so you just, and obviously they're fairly inexpensive. So, but you mail them and hope that they sort of pay attention and see the card.
They do. In fact, we often get I think I've got one here. Here at my desk that got returned recently. I'll have to find it, but it's yeah, they usually do, and they always send a message. Like I said earlier, we've made a pretty good job at having a great relationship with our past clients. We're friends on if they're only on Facebook, we're on. If they're on Instagram or something, then we're on that as well. And we're friends, and they usually send a private message, either one of those ways or through text, just saying, "Hey, thank you very much. We appreciate that." I think the biggest time we did, the biggest one we've done recently is for a larger group all at once versus just the individual ones was St. Patrick's Day, and let the luck be on your side or something to that degree. And it was a scratch off ticket for $1, that we put in there. And
Okay.
it chimed in and said, "Hey, we didn't win, but we appreciate the card."
Hey, for agents who are going, man, I really like, maybe they want to build relationship based systems, marketing, that type of thing. What would be some, are there any books that you kind of use as a little bit of a blueprint? What were some of the ways that you kind of came up or developed the strategies? Obviously, we're just talking for 20 minutes here. Not enough time to go deep, but maybe there's some pointers or places we can kind of point people to.
There's been quite a few books that I've read, but I don't know of any that really helped on the relationship aspect. I do what I would say, and I tell all of our agents the same thing, is that you got to have conversations. If you're not having conversations with people, then you're not creating a relationship. You don't even know where it's going to go at that point in time. So myself, I'm president of the HOA. Before that, I was president of the ARC, which is an architectural review committee for our community, just helping out. It's always what can I do to help? And it comes from that place of helping first. Then it hey, you know what? You just helped me because we're down here in the South. It's real common to get a snake in the pool or a turtle across the road. Somebody chimes in, I'll be the one that runs over and does that. I'm become that resource of every time I need something, Dan's here to help me. Help me pump out my AC when the line got frozen and got gunk in it. There was a snake in a pool and whatever the case may be. So those little small relationships, not being a secret agent is what I'll tell all of our agents too. If you're staying on the sideline waiting for it to fall into your lap, it's not going to work. You're going to have to get out there and just help, just start having conversations with people, and that starts to lead in a different direction. So I think that was the easiest of doing those few things, and then it's just gotten bigger and better. We do everything from block parties. We just had a huge community pool party that we ran in our community. I did 100 pounds of smoked pork and 200 hot dogs, all for free, and we had some vendors and so forth chip in on the cost, but I think it was an easy way to have a conversation with a lot of people all at once.
Right. Now, how do you and Tanin divide and up the workload in terms of your real estate business?
It's a great question. We both. I'm mostly out on the field is a lot what I do. I'm out on the field. I'm kind of out there getting dirty, and Tanin's behind the scenes getting dirty. She does a lot of our, entering on Sky Slope, as far as transactions and so forth, keeping timelines tight. We also have a transaction manager that helps us as well, behind the scenes, keeps a lot of important dates, moving forward. But a lot of times, we both do both at the same time. There's times when it's great working with a spouse in this regard. The fact that she's not having a great day or feeling well, then I'm gonna have to put in some stuff on Sky Slope or enter it in that way, or send out welcome letters. A lot of these things are just we call them R&D, rip off and duplicate. Things we've already done. We just kind of take it, paste it, change the names on a few spots, and then we get them out there. And then otherwise, it's just showing houses and or doing listing appointments.
And then do you have any agents on your team, or is it just the two of you?
It's just the two of us right now. We do have a couple of agents in our group that we're kind of getting them ramped back up. We had a team at one point in time, and we let that go a little bit to just more of a mentoring process. But now we're going back to a team. We just honestly, we have enough work coming in right now that we're worried we're going to lose it. Plus, enter a burnout state, where you just work day and night. It seems like trying to get caught up. So it's nice to have some agents that we can rely on to take on those leads and take on and do it the same way, the same service that we would do it with.
Okay, awesome. Now you've done some agent attraction. You've got some folks in your group. How has that played into your business, and how does that play into sort of your longer term vision?
It's played very well. It's a fantastic piece. I think for me, I know Tanin, it was always attractive to us when we came to EXP as far as the agent attract side of it. It's not always as easy as it tends to seem for some others, but we do take advantage of it, and it's a great piece to have. For us, we're Icon, 4-time Icon. The stock has been a absolute game changer for us in that field. So they both work for us. We see it in the long run. Doing more. And like going back to relationships and helping, I was telling you earlier, if I wasn't in real estate, I'd probably be in law enforcement. I do love helping the agents below us too and grow their business. I look at it as it's very simple. I'm not going to say that it's simple enough because I can do it, you can do it, but it really is. But you have to be kind of wanted as well. I'm not going to call you and say, hey, did you get up today? Did you brush your teeth? Are you ready to start your day? You get up, you start moving, and ultimately get out there and get going. If you want to know what it is that I do, come with me. Like tomorrow, one of our agents who's new to our group is going to job shadow with me tomorrow, showing houses. And what better way to learn than just hear what it is that I say? Just be a little fly on the back wall there and just listen in. So I do enjoy that aspect of growing those agents. And I think most of them, when they enter in, if they lean in, we often say plug in. If you plug in and become part of it, you end up, those are the ones that I find are the most successful.
Awesome. So, last question. If there was one piece of advice you could give to an EXP agent, what would it be?
Oh, that is a great question. Let me think about as far as one piece of advice. I'm probably gonna stay with the plug-in to lean in. It was a game changer for us, and I hope I don't get too long. But when we came from our previous boutique brokerage, we're the biggest fish in that pond at that point in time. No one to show us, no one to really go. We were at about 6.5 million in business, which wasn't bad. We wanted to be up closer to 10. We came over to EXP, and there were so many, Icon style agents that we were in our group in close proximity. Yourself, we met you within 3 months of joining back then. And I was like, I worked for another huge brokerage at one point, the biggest in the country at one point in time. And I remember the president came through, and it might as well have been the Pope. You couldn't get close to him, you couldn't touch him, you couldn't do anything, near him. But when we came on to EXP, in fact, I even got it here in front of me. I got one of these books that we had. It was for free. It was for the Show Me Now program that we ran back then. And to this day, I've almost filled this one. I've got 3 or 4 other books, but just plugging in, being in the moment, writing it, and just taking as much as you can in, and then putting it to use at that same point. So if you find yourself on an island, if you find yourself feel like you're being left behind, find those groups, find those people that are out there, and engage and be a part of it. Just like creating a relationship with people for business, you got to do it with other agents to find out how it is that you need to grow as well. So I think that's the biggest piece of advice I could give anyone.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you so much. And congratulations on your success. Congratulations on your 4-time ICON award. How can people, so if they want to follow what you're doing, what would be the best way to connect or to follow you?
Absolutely. It's my name's on everything. So if you find us on Dan Teston on Facebook or Instagram, you can't help. I have a very distinct look. I'm 6'4", 260. You can't help but miss me. But ultimately, find us on our social media. We plug in. We're on there all the time. You got questions? I give the secret sauce to everybody. You want to know what the secret sauce is? I'll give it to you. Just gotta ask. I'm not going to come to you, but if you want to know, just come to me, and I'll give it to you.
Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thanks again, Dan. And with that, we'll sign off on this episode. And thanks everyone for listening in.
Thanks, Glenn. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everything.